Today we will begin with risk analysis. Sorry? We have completed mergers. No, there is valuation is there. That we'll do separately. Yes, sir. What have you not done? If you have not done something, those are things that you must do. Okay? You do them. That some question 15 is there, right? That you work out. Okay? That you work out. Or in the end, after we do everything, if you think that is not workable, we'll work. Alright? Otherwise, we'll now go to risk analysis. We'll go to risk analysis. Yeah, all of you are ready or still busy doing something else? Finish all those busyness. First, I'll tell you the most important news, okay? But don't make that the basis of understanding today's topic. This risk analysis has been pulled out of the new syllabus, okay? It is there only in the old syllabus, but that does not mean all of you, half of you should walk away now. Okay. It is good to know about risk because minus risk, no, there is no meaning in talking about portfolio, no meaning in talking about the derivatives, all that. Because central to whole of finance is risk. And we will therefore try to put out a broad overview what we will learn in risk. Okay. So the learning objectives are the following. First is risk and uncertainty. We'll begin with risk and uncertainty. Learning objectives chapter heading is risk analysis. 10 things we are going to learn. First thing that we are going to know is that equipment is not working today. Alright. So your job will be hard, my job will be harder still. First is, what did I say? Risk and uncertainty. Okay. First learning is risk and uncertainty. Most of these you have actually already done. At least 30% of this you have already done before in our earlier chapters. Second is probability, expected value and standard deviation. Probability, expected value and standard deviation. Third is risk adjusted discount rate. Third is risk adjusted discount rate. By the way, where have you used discount rate before? In capital budgeting. Now we are saying that the discount rate that you used in capital budgeting has to be a risk adjusted discount rate. At least that's what we are going to soon indicate. Okay. So that was the third learning objective. Fourth one is certainty equivalent factor. Fourth is certainty equivalent factor. Third one was risk adjusted discount rate. Fourth is certainty equivalent factor. 5 is something that most companies actually do. Whether they do 2, 3 or 4, they do 5. 5 is sensitivity analysis. 5 is sensitivity analysis. Then we have 6 Hilliard's model, HILLIER. Hilliard's model, HILLIER, Hilliard's model. Then 7 is something called Z value. Again, it's a thing that you already know. We have at least introduced the idea of Z value. Then 8th and the last one is simulation, SIMULATION. Simulation is perhaps the most profound way of understanding how risk impacts an organization. Okay. So if you just go through them, it says risk and uncertainty. Then what does it say? Probability and expected value. Then risk adjusted discount rate, certainty equivalent factor, sensitivity analysis, Hilliard's model, Z value, simulation. Okay, wonderful. Now we will try to understand this difference between risk and uncertainty. I don't know whether I explained when we did the capital asset pricing model. Even if I had explained, I'll repeat. I don't want you to indicate how many marks are you going to get in the exam. Why here? Suddenly everybody has become silent. Some people have closed their eyes. Okay. In strategic financial management. in the CA final exam. If it was the evening, that means if it was 6:30 or 7, we could have all gone outside on the rooftop, looked at the sky and seen stars. Unfortunately, we can't see now. So let's give some numbers which you will write in your notebook in the first page, big number, and so that you will strive to achieve that. So tell me based on that. 80, okay. Then 75. Then don't put some pattern there. Yeah, I want 10 numbers here. 80, 75, 90. Okay. No, also it is good when you dream. No, you must dream very big. Then, no, 100 I already told you. We must go out, see stars. Not that 100 has not happened. It happened, I think, in the latest exam itself. But that is multiple reasons of which I know. Then, what else? 72. I don't know how you found this number always. Next. 72. What you two guys are discussing about how much marks to get? Decide and tell you. You don't have to ask him how much marks you have to get. How much? 78, 60, 40. Oh, that is why you are coming to the class in the morning, correct? 40. I'll tell you a story about this 40. A very interesting story behind this 40. Then 92 is already there somewhere. 90, 92, they're all same thing. 55, okay. 60. Already there? Oh God. 59. 88, is it? 98, okay. Let us not disappoint her. 98. I'll tell you the story about 40 first. Okay, very important story. Many years ago, 10 years ago I think, there was a guy who got the All India first rank. Okay. So he came, he was very happy, so he came and told me he got All India first rank and 5 fellows were around because by then the news had already gone. And one stupid fellow in that group, every group has a clown. That fellow asked him, how much did you get in SFM? Okay, he did not ask him how many marks you got in other subjects, what is your total, how should I prepare for the exam, nothing. He said, he's got, how much did you get in SFM? This fellow looked at me up and down. I knew what marks he had got. I said, go ahead, tell him what is the problem. He said, I got 43. Okay. Then this other guy, the one who asked the question, he turned to me and said, look, he's got only 43. You are responsible for that. So I told him, look, because of me, he's got the All India first rank. If he had got 38, what would have happened? So sometimes crossing the border is also important. So I like this 40. You have put out all these numbers? All right. What is the average of this? Yeah, take calculator. Once upon a time people used to add 80, 155, 245, 316 like that. But it's okay, you add. 70 point? You're a true accountant here. Only an accountant can say 70.7 here. Everybody in the world will say 71. Okay? 70.7. What is the highest mark? 98. What is the lowest mark? 40. Okay? This is the average. This is the highest. This is the lowest. Can you see any pattern in these marks? What kind of students are these fellows who get 40, who get 98? If these 10 fellows are in a classroom, we have to take a gun and shoot the one who taught them. Or how will you define these students? So what will you calculate to find out? This is average, 71. Okay, you found out average 71. How many people have got the same number of marks? Nobody has got the same number of marks. Okay, then we can also find out what is the spread. The spread here is 98 minus 40, 50, 58. The difference between the highest and the lowest is 58. This guy is 71. Okay, the average is 71. This number is almost close to 71. This number is far, far away from 71. This number is super far away from 71. Okay, it's very far away from 71. So we want to know what is the distance of these numbers. One of them is how much far away, only one distance away. Another is 27 distance away. Another is 31 distance away. We now want to know on average how much distance these are away, and that takes us to computing standard deviation. That takes us to computing standard deviation, because standard deviation second word, which is the second word, deviation. What does it mean? The deviation from this 71. Why do we calculate that? Because it gives us some idea about how these fluctuate. It gives us some idea about how these fluctuate, because the more they fluctuate, because if you go and join this classroom, okay, if you go and join this classroom where the marks are so fluctuant, and let us think all the students are of equal caliber, then you are worried about what mark you will get, as opposed to a classroom where people get 74, 73, 71, 70, 69, 73, 74, 72. What happens there? They're all bunched together. That average may also be 71. This average, this is hugely dispersed. Okay. Somebody who wants to, no, who thinks that I will be able to score what people in the classroom score, would like to go here, because the deviation here is less, whereas the deviation here is substantially more. Getting into this classroom, though that's not the best way to express it, is more risky compared to getting into this classroom, which is less risky. Risky here only means how far away it is from the expected value. Okay, how far away it is from the expected value is the only meaning of the word risk. So what we are now trying to tell is that standard deviation, which you will calculate, standard deviation, which you will little later learn to calculate, is a deviation from expected value, and it is a measure of risk. But what we have still not done is, we have still not said what is risk. We have still not said what is risk, and we will say what is risk. Now you gave these great numbers, 80, 75, 90, 72, 78 and all that. He or she who said 80, you are 100% sure you will get 80? No. You might, how sure are you? How sure are you will get 80? There must be some level of confidence, no? 80%. So if you say I am 80% sure that I will get 80, we are saying that the probability is 0.8. We are saying that the probability is 0.8, and probability can add up to only 1. The probability is 0.8. If you say probability is 0.8 for getting 80, if you say this probability is 0.1, then the probability, if these are the various numbers that even a single student gives, suppose a single student says I might get 80 or 75 or 90 or 72 or 78 or 60 or even down 40, 55, etc., then we'll have to ask ourselves what is the probability that he will get. Once you lay down the probabilities, those probabilities obviously have to add up to 1. And then when you calculate the so-called average, you simply multiply and add, which means you get the weighted average, which in our language is expected value. Okay. Just keep this in the back of your mind as I try to explain to you what is the difference between risk and uncertainty. Okay. This you keep in the back of your mind. This is not the starting this is somewhere in the middle, but I wanted to put this down because the whole of the topic is going to be arithmetic. Okay. Now, let us say 2 teams are playing a cricket match. Who's playing whom? India is playing South Africa. You know what happened yesterday? What happened? South Africa won, is it? India did not lose? India lost, okay. South Africa won. First match, who won? India won. What happened to the test matches? How much did they win? 2-1. There were 4 matches or 3? 3, is it? So South Africa won 2-1. What happened in the one day? 1-5. What happened in the, so far 1-1. Now, $1 million question, what will happen in the next match? What will happen in the next match? India will win. What is the chance India will win? 100%. Because some bookie or something. What is the probability that India will win? No, you don't have to be very patriotic and all that. You have to be realistic when you do business. 70%, okay. What is the probability that India will lose? Don't tell me 60%, okay? No. There are many other things. India can win, India can lose, the match can tied, the match can get cancelled, wonderful. Rain came and it cancelled, okay? What is the probability India will lose? 0.2, then let us say 0.05, 0.05. So what I am now trying to say is that risk is a situation where several outcomes are possible. Win, lose, tie, cancel. Several outcomes are possible. All these four cannot happen. Within this, only one of them can happen. Each of these outcomes has a known probability. Each one of these outcomes has a known probability. And how did you fix this probability? Maybe based on past information, because in a T20 match, which is roughly similar to an ODI match, you have seen that India has been winning significantly. So we are saying risk is a situation where various outcomes are possible. Each outcome has, within those outcomes, only one can happen, not more than one. Each one of them has a probability, and this probability is what? Determined with the help of past data. Now, if you put this out, then we are talking about risk. If you say, somebody said 100% India will win, the opposite of that is not 100% India will lose. In my view, the opposite of that is God only knows. Okay, that means I ask you a question, whether India will win or lose, you look up the sky and say God knows. Then we are talking about uncertainty. So like a student who comes out of the exam hall, ask him how you have done, he says only the great God knows. And the new great God is the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. Okay. So if you say that, then we are talking about uncertainty. But if you say, no, I come out of the exam, I'll get 50% probability that I'll get 80, 30% probability I'll get 90, 20% probability I'll get 60, then you're talking about risk. Okay. Which of these two is measurable? Risk is measurable, uncertainty is not measurable. Okay. This is what we first want to put out. Heading was what? First was what? Risk and uncertainty. Okay. Risk and uncertainty. Risk is a situation where several, where below that first point A, several outcomes are possible. B, within that what can happen? Yeah. Within this, only one outcome can occur. A, you have written. B, within this, only one outcome can occur. C, each outcome has what? Known probability. Each outcome has a known probability. Each outcome has a known probability. And D, such probabilities are assessed with reference to past information. Such probabilities are assessed with reference to past information. I'll repeat. Several outcomes are possible. Within this, only any one outcome can occur. Each outcome has a known probability. Such probabilities are assessed with reference to past information. Okay. I want you to write an example. It could be this, it could be anything else. Okay. You write something, put out what are at least 3 outcomes from there, put out what is the probability. Okay. You can write whatever you like. You can write about getting a rank in the exam. You can write about getting the first rank in the exam. You can write about, what else can you write about? What else can you write about? Getting a job. Yeah, you can write about getting a job. What else can you write about? What is that? Getting married, is it? Okay. All right. Each of us have our own problems and priorities. All right. Go ahead and write. Go ahead and write whichever one, but write something. I won't ask you what is the probability, so you can write that. Okay. Whatever you said, you can write. In that, the probabilities that you must write are about yes, no, and then the. Okay. You finished that? That was about risk. What is uncertainty? Uncertainty is a situation where the range of outcomes is not known. Okay, as straight as that. The range of outcomes is not known, or if the range of outcomes is known, the probability of outcomes is not known. I know that it might rain or it might not rain, but I don't know what is the probability that it will rain, what is the probability it will not rain. So second one, the uncertainty. Uncertainty is a situation where, first was risk, second is uncertainty, because we have to be very clear in our mind that it is only risk that we can handle. We cannot handle uncertainty. Uncertainty is a situation where A, the range of outcomes is not known. The probability of outcomes is not known. B, the probability of outcomes is not known. That finally brings us to our first principle, with which we complete that learning objective. That principle is that risk can be measured, uncertainty cannot be measured. At the end of it, we'll put out principle number 1, risk can be measured, uncertainty cannot be measured. Any doubt on that? All right. There is now no question to be worked here. It is more about getting to know what is risk, what is uncertainty, because our chapter is about risk, so we must know what is it that we are reading.